everyone, and a very warm welcome to the Easy English channel. I'm Olivia, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be here with you today, ready to dive into some super practical English.
And I'm Steve. It's great to be back. You know, Olivia, so many of our listeners write in asking about how to confidently talk about things that happened in the past. It's a huge area for learners, and it can feel a bit daunting at first.
Absolutely, Steve. And that's exactly what we're tackling today. We're going to help you speak about the past in English in a really simple, easy to understand way without all the confusing jargon. No more feeling nervous about past tense, okay? Because you absolutely can do this. Seriously, every single word you learn, every sentence you try, it all matters on your English learning journey.
That's so true, Olivia, and we want to make it as straightforward as possible. So, let's kick things off with what is probably the most common and fundamental form you'll use, the past simple tense. This is your go-to for so many situations.
Right. So, in a nutshell, we use the past simple to talk about actions or situations that are completely finished, done, and dusted. They started and ended at a specific time in the past. It's not something happening now or something that will happen. It's history.
Exactly. Think of it like this. You're telling a story or describing something that's already happened. For instance, if I want to tell you about my day yesterday, I'd say, I visited my friend yesterday. Or if I was home last night, I watched a really interesting movie last night. And for all our amazing students out there, a classic one is, I studied English last week. See, all those actions are complete.
Those are fantastic, super clear examples, Steve. Now, let's talk about how we actually form these past simple verbs. This is where it gets really straightforward from many verbs, what we call regular verbs. For these, we usually just add ed to the end of the base form.
Yes, it's like a magic little suffix. So, if you have the verb walk in the past, it becomes walked. If you play a game, yesterday you played a game. And if you learn something new, well, last week you learned new things. It's pretty consistent, which is great for building confidence.
So you can easily say something like, I played football with my friends last Saturday, or I learned so many new words from that podcast episode yesterday. It's really quite easy, isn't it? Just adding that ed sound. But, of course, English being English, we have to talk about the exceptions, right?
You read my mind, Olivia. Because yes, English also has its fair share of irregular verbs. And these, unfortunately, don't follow that nice, neat ED rule. They change in sometimes unpredictable ways. And honestly, the best way to learn them is through practice and exposure.
That's so true. It's all about getting familiar with them. So for our listeners, let's go through a few common irregular verbs. For example, the verb go completely changes to went in the past. Eat becomes ate. See turns into saw. And the very common verb have becomes had. No ed there at all.
Exactly. It's a bit of a memorization game, but trust me, it gets easier with time. You'll start to feel when a verb is irregular. And hey, we'll probably do a whole episode on irregular verbs someday. There are so many good ones.
Oh, absolutely. But for now, let's practice together. I want everyone listening to repeat these sentences after me, okay? Get your voices ready. Here we go. I went to school this morning. Next one, I ate breakfast really early today. And I saw my teacher at the supermarket yesterday. Last one, I had a very busy day at work. Excellent.
That was fantastic, everyone. Seriously, repeating out loud is one of the best ways to get comfortable with these sounds and forms. Remember what we always say. Practice makes progress, not necessarily perfection right away. Just keep trying. That's the key.
Such an important point, Steve. Now, when we're talking about the past, it's super helpful to give our listener a clue about when something happened. So let's talk about some common time words and phrases that signal past time.
These are your signposts. They make it clear you're talking about something completed. Some of the most common ones you'll hear and use are yesterday, last night, last week, or you can use phrases like 2 days ago, 3 years ago, etc. And for specific years, like in 2024, if that year is now in the past, of course.
Perfect. So, combining what we just learned, you can say things like, yesterday I studied English for an hour, or, taking one of your examples, Steve, last week I watched a fascinating video about language learning. These time words really anchor your sentence in the past, don't they?
They absolutely do, Olivia. They give context and make your sentences much clearer. Now, let's move on to something equally important: how to make negative sentences in the past simple, because sometimes you need to say what you didn't do.
Right, and this is actually super consistent and simple. To make a negative sentence in the past simple, you just use did not, or its common contraction, didn't, before the main verb. And here's a crucial point. The main verb then goes back to its base form. For example, I didn't go out last night. Or, I didn't understand the lesson initially, but then I rewatched it. And, I didn't practice yesterday, so I need to today.
That base form point is so vital, Olivia. It's a common mistake, but once you remember did carries the past tense, the other verb stays in its original form. And speaking of did, let's talk about asking questions in the past. This is another area where did is your best friend.
It really is. For questions in the past simple, you put did at the very beginning of the sentence, before the subject, and again, the main verb goes back to its base form. So you'd ask, did you study for your exam? Or, did you watch our video last week? And a super important one, did you practice speaking English today? See how did starts it off?
Exactly. It's like did does all the heavy lifting for the past tense, so the main verb can just relax. This is a common point where learners sometimes get tangled up. They might accidentally say, did you went? But as Olivia just explained, that's incorrect. You always say, did you go? The did already tells us it's past tense.
That's such a perfect clarification, Steve. Did you go is the correct form always. It might feel a little strange at first, but with a bit of practice, it will become totally natural. And remember, everyone, making mistakes is just part of the learning process. Don't ever be afraid to speak, even if you're not 100% sure. That's how you learn and improve.
Couldn't agree more, Olivia. Every single time you open your mouth and try to form a sentence, your English gets a little bit stronger, a little bit more natural. It's like building muscle, you know? You can't expect to lift heavy weights on day one, but with consistent effort, you'll get there.
Such a great analogy. So, our challenge for you, our amazing listeners, is to speak a little bit of English every single day, even if it's for 5 minutes. Talk about what you did today, what you did yesterday, or what you did last weekend. Even those simple sentences like, I ate breakfast or I watched TV are incredibly powerful practice.
Absolutely. Don't underestimate the power of those simple sentences. They build your foundation, they build your confidence, and they make it easier to construct more complex ideas later on. Plus, you're actively using the language, which is the whole point.
You are truly doing great. Keep pushing forward, keep learning new things every single day, and most importantly, believe in yourself and your ability to master English. We believe in you. We believe in you.
Thanks so much for tuning in and listening to the Easy English channel today. We really hope this episode on the past simple is clear things up and giving you some confidence to start using it.
Yes, thank you for being with us. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss our next episode, and we'll see you next time for more Easy English.
Bye, everyone, and happy learning. Keep practicing those past tense verbs. You've got this.